Today, the 6th of March 2025, we have some handpicked match predictions for the NBA upcoming event to share with you, which of course will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost your winning by a greater percent. So without wasting time, let's begin with the first game of our today's list. Looking at the first event, we looked at Boston Celtics in the NBA USA. We are looking at Boston Celtics playing against Portland Trail Blazers. For this event, the recent performance of the home Boston Celtics have proved to be very good in terms of the recent game they've had. In this same year, of course, the performance has been good with a good offense as compared to that of its opponent. The opponent, Portland, on the other hand, have proved that even though the offensive trend is also good, as you can see here, which have led so many events in the recent gameplay they have had, also prove that they have a good strike power. And looking, of course, at the recent head-to-head, which they have had not that far ago, Boston Celtics lead against Portland Trail. This time, of course, the home team still have a good form and stand. And looking at the performance in terms of the form and stand by the games they have had recently, comparing their strength, the home, of course, have proved that, as you can see, Portland Trails, in terms of the home game, have proved that they are good at home. But this time they are going at the away. And looking at Bolton, which is the home team at the home game, they sit here in the 6th position. Scoring, as you can see, they have 580 is to 561. Percentage of 0.6 in terms of the goals scored, as you can see here. We are going to compare 0.6 with that of its opponent based on the away in its performance. Looking at the performance of the away as the winning percentage, you are going to see that Portland Trail sit here in the 5th place, and you can see 612 against 570 with win percentage of 0.8. In other words, looking at all of these calculations by the offense of both the home and the away, they have an offensive line with win percentage of 0.8 for the away and 0.6 for the home. And looking at the fact that the home team, in terms of the win percentage, as you can see, sits right here with win percentage of 0.6, 580 against 561. Of course, we looked at two major picks here in full time. Looking at this particular event, the home team, Bolton Celtics, is always good, especially when they come at the home. When they come at home, the offensive strength is very good, and the defense of the away is not able to withstand the offense of the home team, especially when they come at home. And also, since both of the two sides have great offense in terms of the recent event they have had recently, we want to look at two major picks. One, we are looking at Bolton Celtics, the home to win in full time, since their performances at home is always very good. And looking at the next, we looked at over goals for both of the two sides. So we want to look at over 207.5 goals in full time, which will give us an odds of at least between 1.15 to 1.20 odds in full time based on over 207.5 goals in full time. So we look at two major picks here. One, the possibility of the home team to lead with an odds of 1.25, or looking at the list over 207.5 goals combined, having an odds of between 1.15 to 1.20. Looking at the next, we stay in the NBA US, that is NBA USA. We are looking at Cleveland Cavaliers against Miami Heat. For this particular event, the home team, in terms of the recent event they have had, have proved that they are very offensive and they have had major leads, having most win events in recent games they have had. Miami Heat, on the other hand, of course, the defensive strength is not very good and they have had major losses and they have had just one single win in terms of the recent game they have had. The offensive strength of the home is better as compared to that of the away. And looking, of course, at the recent head-to-head which they had, you're going to see that Miami Heat beats Cleveland, and this time Cleveland, having a good offense, is not coming home, which will take revenge based on the last loss they had against Miami Heat. Comparing the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had by the gameplay, the form of the home team, Cleveland have proved that they lead this table. They sit on the first place with a very high offensive strength, scoring 637 in 5 games played, and of course, the points or percentage point is 0.8. But looking at that of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the away games they have recently had, we are going to see that based on the comparison, based on the way, Miami Heat here is not very good in terms of the strength, both defense and offense. And looking at this, you can see they concede more, 562, and The win percentage rating of Miami Heat at away is just 0.2, as you can see, as compared to the win percentage of the home team Cleveland of 0.8. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home team have proved to be very offensive in terms of recent event they have had. And since the fact that they had the major last head-to-head had a lose against that of the away, of course, this time they are coming with a good form and they want to impress this time. Therefore, we look at the home team to lead this match in full time as one of the major pick. And of course, we also look at goals over probability, which is at least over 210 goals in full time for both sides. So looking at the home team to win, the odds is 1.16 to 1.20. And looking at over 210 goals in both sides, we looked at the point of 1.15 odd to 1.17 odd. Looking at the next, we look here in the NBA USA, Charlotte Hornets against Minnesota Timberwolves. In this event, the home team, of course, have proved that the defensive line is not very good. They concede too much goals in recent events they've had. The opponent also, on the other hand, have also proved that the conceding strength of the away is also good. They do concede as much as they can. And of course, looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had recently, the form of the home have proved that they are not very good in terms of the defensive line. And you can see, even though the home team, which is Charlotte, have proved that here, based on the defensive line, you're going to see that the defense is not very good. They concede very much, and the percentage win rate is just 0.2. Its opponent also, on the other hand, in terms of the recent event they have had by the defensive strength as well as the offense, that of the away, of course, you're going to see Minnesota, as you can see here, the defensive line also is not good, and the win percentage is just 0.4. Both of the two sides are weak in terms of defense, and of course, they concede as much as they can. And looking at this, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, of course, we want to look at the joint effect in terms of goals probability. Since both of the two sides are not good at defense, they will concede much goals. Therefore, we want to look at over 207, over 208, over 209, as well as over 210 goals in full time. This will give us an odds of between 1.15 to 1.20, and as well as 1.22. So looking at these three games we have to share with you, of course, we are looking at least a total of between 1.8 to 1.9, approximately 2 odds for this particular list. And to those of you who are new here, you want to make sure to go ahead to subscribe to follow upcoming match prediction picks, which is being backed up by stats and analytics to help you make your picks to boost your winning by a greater percent. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.